Oh man, we got a whole bunch of 4 mil stuff in these boxes. Today is a very good day. Today is a very, very good day. Not only do we have this very big box, but we have this semi-big box, and they're both filled with parts for the 4 mil Banshee build. Now you guys might have a couple hunches on what's in this big box here. If you watched my last video on exhaust cleaning, I kind of tipped you off. So without further ado, I'm going to set aside the semi-big box. And we're going to open up this big box first. I know what's in here, and I'm super excited for this. So let's get to it. Oh man, you know it's good because there's decals. You guys know I love stickers. Oh, you guys probably know what this is now. Dude, these are nice. That's right, guys. SLP hooked me up with a brand new exhaust system for the 4 mil, and they certainly did a great job packing it. Even if UPS was shipping this thing, I think it still wouldn't have a dent in it. Now, before I go any further, this is not to be confused with the SLP that you see on Camaros and Mustangs. This stands for Starting Line Products, and this is the exhaust that Driveline Performance recommended me to put on my 421 Banshee. They said that this is the pipe that's going to give you the most power and the most download torque, which is exactly what I want. With the setup that I have with pump gas, I should be running around 85 horsepower. But I gotta say, man, these are some sweet looking pipes, and this really is a privilege for me. You know, I've never actually received or used a brand new exhaust on any quad or dirt bike. I've always either looked for quads that already had aftermarket exhaust on them, or, you know, I've taken them off of quads that I was parting out and put those aftermarket exhausts on my quad. I've purchased them used. I've never actually had a brand new exhaust, so this is really cool. And I can say right off the bat, this SLP exhaust, in comparison with the FMF, which I do have here, and I am going to be doing a comparison, guys, at least in terms of build quality and appearance. And we might be doing a performance test also on the dyno. But just appearance-wise, right off the bat, I can see the expansion chamber is much longer on this exhaust. You can see the diffuser cone, and this neutral area is much bigger than the FMF. Even just the sheer diameter of this pipe seems to be bigger and longer. And we'll see right when we put it up against the FMF, and it feels like they might have used a little bit thicker steel. This is a heavier pipe. It feels a little bit sturdier and less, you know, tinier than the FMF. I'm not saying anything bad about the FMF. FMF makes a great exhaust, and I was very happy with my my FMF exhaust. But I'm just making a comparison here. This does seem to be like a little bit more heavy duty and sturdy, a little bit better built. Probably less likely that this would get kinked or dented. And just a really nice pipe. It looks like it has really nice welds. Nice coating on here. It's not the shiniest coating. It almost has like a textured appearance. It still has a very nice show. You can see they have SLP stamped in here. Really a sharp looking pipe. Now, at first glance with these silencers, they appear to be very nice build quality, nice and heavy. They're not rattling or anything. The actual can itself seems to be very similar to FMF, that style. You have a riveted end cap and mid pipe. So if you're going to repack this pipe, you're going to be drilling those rivets out and probably replacing them with some kind of screw. At least that's what I would do. And I'm going to guess that this is going to be on the quieter side of silencers, only because the diameter of this tailpipe, this little turn down here, is somewhat on the smaller side. So I would imagine it's going to be a little bit quieter. But overall, this feels like a nice, tight, well-built silencer. Also included in the box is your mounting hardware. You have your washers here, bolts, nothing crazy, some aluminum blocks with a rubber anti-vibrational coating. This goes on your silencer up here. And also what they included, which I was not aware of, is a timing advance key. If you get a look at this, you can see the key is shifted over. Now if you put this on the stator side of your engine in place of your factory key, this will advance your timing 3 degrees. And something else they included with this that I think is pretty neat, along with their installation instructions, which is nice. You got pictures in there. But this is what I really like. They have tables with jetting suggestions for numerous types of carbs and setups. Let's see what they got there. That's just a nice thing to have. If you ever jetted a carburetor before, it can be a pain in the ass. You know, if you're not a professional, really is a pain in the butt. I mean, I'm pretty good with knowing what I'm doing, and I have trouble jetting things sometimes. So it's nice to have that. Give yourself a head start, get you in the right ballpark of jetting. All right, now you know I'd be doing a side-by-side comparison since I still have my FMF exhaust here. So we'll compare the FMF and the SLP exhaust before I even get started. These are both really well-built exhausts. I like them both. But there's definitely some big differences that I noticed. So the first thing I noticed right off the bat is just the sheer size and weight of the SLP pipe. It's a bigger pipe, and it's also heavier. It feels like it's a little sturdier. If you tap on the two pipes, you actually get a different sound. This one makes a much louder sound. But I would say if you feel it with your fingers, the SLP feels like it's the metal that they use is a little bit thicker, so it's probably a more solid pipe. Like I said before, it's probably less likely to ding than the FMF would be. Now, if you take these and put them side by side, you will see the size comparison here. The SLP is quite a bit longer, and it's taller too. And on top of that, I don't know if there would be a good way to show you guys this, but the expansion chamber is also thicker on the SLP. So this area right here, where you have your expansion, this is a bigger chamber. And here you have your diffuser cone, your baffle cone. This whole area is just bigger on the SLP. Another difference I noticed is both of the end pieces that go into your mid pipes are a little bit different. The FMF just has a straight in design. It's going to slip right into your silencer. I never had a problem with that. And then the SLP goes a step further and has the sleeve on the outside, so maybe that'll help with a little bit of exhaust leaking. Personally, I never had any problems with exhaust leaking on my FMF, but that is a difference in the pipe. And as far as the coating goes, now keep in mind, guys, these FMF fatties are used pipes. I'm not even sure what year they're from. My Banshee is a 1990, and they came on the Banshee. I don't know how long these pipes were on there, and I just recently polished these up so that they would look at least presentable. If you guys want to see that video, I did just post up a video on exhaust polishing. But regardless, this is the current style of FMF fatty, I believe, so it is up to date, and the silencer is a little bit crummy, but that's also different than the regular silencer. The FMF fatties are typically about the same length as this SLP. This one was chopped down to, I guess, 6/10 of its original size. So that is a modification on that pipe, just to make sure you guys are aware. So keeping that in mind, the FMF does seem to have a little bit of a brighter appearance. Now, I also just got done polishing these pipes. That may have something to do with it. The SLP still looks great. There is like a small kind of texture in the coating, and it still looks great. That's just the way the pipe looks. But just as a comparison, that's the difference between the two coatings on these pipes. One thing I really do like about this SLP, as opposed to the FMF, is how smooth these lines are. You can see how nice this bend is. No kinks or anything. If you look at the FMF, you can see they kind of have these sharp kinks right here. Now, I don't know why they do that. That may be a design that has some sort of purpose that I'm unaware of. But as far as I know, usually with exhaust, the less bends and the smoother the bends, the better the flow. So I do like this design a little bit better than the FMF. Hopefully that'll have a little bit more flow. Now, as far as the silencers go side by side, we can't do a completely accurate comparison because, like I said, these FMFs are chopped down. Typically, they are about as long as this SLP, and they would actually hang over the back a little bit, I believe. Now, you can see the mid-pipe section is a little bit longer. That's because the SLP pipes expansion chambers are longer, so there's not as much of a mid-pipe needed. Now, I lined up the mounting bolts right here just so you can get an idea. You can see the SLP silencer starts a little bit sooner than the FMF. And like I said, I'm pretty sure the FMF pipe comes out to about here. It would actually stick out past the SLP a little bit, and a bit longer of a mid pipe. And of course, like I said previously, this exhaust is riveted. So if you were going to repack this, you'd have to drill these rivets out, and then I would go ahead and put bolts in like I did with this FMF. Makes it a lot easier to repack. But you can see the design is very similar for the actual can itself. I mean, literally almost exactly the same. They both have this same kind of beam going down the one side and the same oval shape, just different tips. But I wouldn't be surprised if I could take this tip and put it in the SLP. That'd be kind of cool down the road. I don't know if I'll do that, but it'd be interesting to see if this would actually fit in there. So that's the SLP exhaust, guys. These things are really cool. I mean, two-stroke exhaust is just cool in general. I mean, if you didn't know any better and you looked at a two-stroke quad or dirt bike, you might actually think that these pipes are for vanity, just because they're so big in your face, and they're usually chrome, really gnarly looking pipes. But they actually have a purpose, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know all of the actual engineering behind exhaust pipes, but I do know that depending on how long your expansion chamber is, how broad it is, it affects where your power band comes on. It's really neat if you get into studying how these pipes work, and it's just a cool thing. I mean, I can even remember back in the days of high school and before that, I used to actually draw and design two-stroke pipes in my notebooks. I had no idea, what the designs meant or how it would actually affect the performance. I just thought they looked really cool. Now, I specifically chose these pipes for two reasons. Now, the first one being that Driveline Performance did recommend these pipes to me. They told me that these are the pipes that are going to give me the best download torque, which is exactly what I want for my setup. And also because, everybody else is running shearers, FMFs, Pro Circuit, CPIs, Vitos. There's tons of, those are all in-frame pipes that I'm talking about, but there's tons of different pipes that guys are running. You see them all the time. You never really see these SLPs. I actually didn't even know about them until Driveline Performance recommended them to me. I had seen them on eBay, but otherwise these are kind of like a new design to me. So I love doing things that are other and not so mainstream just to see how things work. I think that's really cool. Now, if you guys are looking to pick up a set of these SLP pipes for yourself, you can get them right from SLP at their website at startinglineproducts.com, or you can grab them from drivelineperformance.com. Either way, it's going to run you about $5.99. Now, my pipes came directly from SLP, and I wanted to make mention that they did an extra good job packing these pipes up. They definitely have your best interest in mind. If the UPS guy's kicking the box around, you're probably still not going to get any dents in your expansion pipes. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that the shipping was done very quickly. All right, guys, so I've had enough of exhaust. Let's see what's in that other box. Thanks, Blake. Dude, I'm not even kidding. I was seriously about to buy one of these from Motorsport last night. Good thing I didn't. So this is some cool stuff. I can see what's in here. This is really neat. Brand new Yamaha Banshee cases. Guys, I'm just kidding. These are not brand new. These are actually my old cases, believe it or not. I sent these things out to DBC Racing, and he got them vapor blasted for me. And my gosh, these things seriously look brand spanking new. Let me see if I can separate these here. The studs sometimes bind up a little bit. Wow. If it wasn't for the tiny little nicks in here caused from my piston exploding and also my missing piece of case, I might actually believe that these are brand new cases. These look absolutely awesome. Even in all the little grooves in that waffle portion of the bottom of the case. Excellent, excellent work. So these are basically going to look brand new when I put this thing together. I'm really happy I decided to do this. I was just going to clean the cases, and DBC reached out to me and asked if I'd want to get these things vapor blasted. So he hooked me up, vapor blasted these cases, and he also did a couple other things for me too, which I'm going to show you in a second. And you can really see, though, on these cases, all of the intricate details. Must have spent a lot of time blasting these. Unfortunately, I don't have any video to show you, but these things look awesome. I'm really happy with the way these turned out. So for you guys that didn't see these cases before, they were completely grimy and cruddy. Now, granted, I did run them through the parts washer before I sent them out to get vapor blasted, but even if you clean these, you know, beyond just a parts washer, I think it'd be pretty much impossible to make the cases look this brand new by any other method than actually getting them blasted. This time around, it was vapor blasted. Definitely worth it, in my opinion. Got some powder coated parts. So we got our shifter. Looks like a brand new shifter now. I was just going to paint this, but DBC hooked me up. They said to throw in some parts if I want them powder coated. So why not powder coat if I can get them powder coated? This will be really nice. Usually you get a nice rub mark right here when you paint them. I mean, eventually it probably will rub through even with the powder coat, but this will be much more durable than the spray paint that I usually use. And I got my kicker. So this used to be white, but it was getting really jimmied up because you guys know the kicker's getting kicked all the time. It's almost like a foot peg. It's really hard to keep your paint on your kicker. So I had DBC throw some silver powder coat on this thing. It should be a little bit more durable, and I think the silver is going to go nice with this engine build. It actually looks a lot like the vapor blasted engine, so that's pretty cool. And last but not least, DBC hooked me up with these brake lever bottle openers. I thought this was the coolest thing, man. I don't even really drink much, and when I do, I don't usually use bottles, but I just couldn't pass this up. I thought that was really cool. Looks like a little shorty brake lever. I thought that was awesome, so I got a couple of those. Pretty neat. If you guys are interested in these things, you can pick them up for $5 from dbcracing.com. Plus, if you're interested in getting your cases vapor blasted or any kind of powder coating, stainless steel bolt kits, stuff like that, make sure to check out dbcracing.com. All right, guys, so that is going to be it for this one. I am super happy with all this stuff. I don't think I've ever had this much cool stuff right in front of me, especially brand new exhaust. Like I said, I've never had brand new exhaust before. I think that's awesome. Plus, basically brand new Banshee cases, a new hat, some new bling for the Banshee, just really cool stuff. Plus, I got a lot of decals and stickers, so I couldn't be happier. Now, remember, guys, if you're interested in getting this SLP exhaust, you can get it at startinglineproducts.com. And if you're interested in getting your cases cleaned up like this and any other kind of stuff that you might want for especially 250Rs and 450Rs, check out dbcracing.com. And, of course, remember to add me on Instagram. It's Sabo350. And as always, guys, you can send in pictures of your projects, your quads and dirt bikes. Remember to take clear pictures. Try to get the whole bike in there, at least in one shot. If you want it to be even higher quality, send it to my email at michaelsabo350@gmail.com. Give me some time. It usually takes a couple weeks for me to get back to you as I have a high volume of people sending stuff in. But I always like to see your guys' projects and pictures, and I post them up as soon as I can. All right, guys, stay tuned. We got a couple more parts coming in, and then we're going to start assembling this 4mm Banshee. I will see you guys in the next one. Projects and pictures, and I post them up as soon as I can. You kidding me?